Hello students, we are going to start the fourth chapter of first unit, business risk, nature and its causes of 11th class in business studies subject. Starting with the meaning of business risk. What is business risk? Business risk, it refers to the possibility of what? Possibility of inadequate profits or even losses in the business because of uncertainties. What are uncertainties? We always plan our business about future. For future we are planning everything, and future is uncertain. It can happen, anything can happen anytime. Since nobody have thought like sitting in like this in 2020, but still because of corona we are facing. So we can say that future is uncertain and there is possibility of loss always. So business risk is the possibility of inadequate profit or even losses in the business. In simple words, you can also say that risk is the chance of loss. Since we are doing everything for profits, but there is a possibility of loss. We cannot deny that there is a chance of loss, and the chance of loss is business risk. It is the possibility of some unfavorable occurrence. Means anything unfavorable can occur anytime. So this favorable time we are spending at our home. So this is also a kind of risk. And business risk is a chance of loss due to uncertainties. Due to uncertainties, it is a chance of loss. Now we are going to do the second topic of this chapter is nature of risk. What type of risk is there in the business? There are 5 points of nature of business risk. Number 1 is risk is the result of uncertainties. Risk is the result of uncertainties. Risk is the outcome of uncertainties. Uncertainties can either be human, business or natural. There are a lot of uncertainties. It can be human, business or natural. About all these three, the following examples means human uncertainties like strike, theft, business uncertainties like wrong assumption of demand, change in fashion, change in price. Natural uncertainty means earthquake, drought, snowfall, epidemic. So we are presently facing natural uncertainty. We are facing an epidemic and this is natural uncertainty. This is the first feature of business risk. That risk is result of uncertainties, and uncertainties of 3 types: human uncertainty caused by human, and second is business uncertainties, just a wrong assumption of demand or maybe change in price or change in fashion. Natural uncertainties that are caused by nature, means earthquake, drought, snowfall, epidemic, etc. It will be discussed in the next topic in detail. Second is risk is unavoidable. Can you avoid the risk of loss? No. No one can avoid the risk. No one have thought of even sitting like this at home, but it is unavoidable. It is difficult to come out of the integrating web of business risk. The only reason of it is that business is carried on for future and future is uncertain and we cannot avoid that uncertainty. So risk is unavoidable. It cannot be avoided. Third one is degree of risk varies with the size of business. If you are having small business, the risk will be of small amount. If you are having big business, the risk will be of big amount because the risk varies with the size of the business. The degree of risk is less with small size business as compared to the degree of risk is big in big business. Fourth point, profit is consideration of risk taking. Why we take risk? Why we are taking risk? Just because of profit. Where there is heavy risk, high risk, there is heavy profit. And where there is low risk, there will be low profits. Whether a businessman gets for taking risk, whatever the businessman is getting for taking risk is the profit. The greater the risk, the more the possibility of profit. The greater the risk, the more will be the possibility of profits. Last, risk depends on the nature of business. What kind of business we are doing, the risk is related to that business only. The amount of risk depends on the nature of the business. In the business of daily routine utility like salt, pulses, atta, there is no risk. Everybody is requiring this time also. On the other hand, in the businesses where things are of governing fashion are sold, means garments, shoes, etc., the risk is greater. If you are dealing with the necessities of life, there is less risk because the sale cannot be stopped. But if you are dealing with fashion garments, etc., then there is heavy risk because it can be at risk. So, we have studied business risk. Business risk is nothing more than the possibility of loss. And the nature of business risk we have studied. It is the result of uncertainties. Risk is the result of uncertainties because business is related to future and future is uncertain. And we cannot avoid that. Risk is also unavoidable. Third is the degree of risk varies with the size of business. If the size of business is small, the risk will be small. If the size of business is big, the risk will be big. And profit is the consideration of risk taking. Why we are taking risk? For profits. Where there is greater risk, there is greater profits. And risk depends upon the nature of business. If you are dealing with routine nature things, the risk is less. If you are dealing with fashion or furniture, garment, etc., the risk will be high. Thank you.